basically too much adrenaline, too much thinking going on. He couldn't consolidate all his thoughts into thinking. I need to stall him out and like push and push and push.
It was tough though, cause he had two really nice force fields when he's pushing that cut off all reinforcements from his main into his natural.
Yeah, it was really those were actually pretty good force fields, and at that first engagement as well, where he walled off on the left side of his army, that was really well done as well. So. Yeah, and it's going to be a PvP, so we'll see how this plays out.
Now,
I'm not sure how good Cuz's PvP is.
Now, I'm not too familiar with PvP. Is it a lot of Stalker spam and Immortal spam, or does it get into both having a death ball?
At this point in PvP, it comes down to one of two things. One, a immediate all-in, which would be 4-gate, or a 4-gate, 2-gate proxy, cannon rush. Those would be your immediate cheeses. Those are the fastest cheeses that you could do. And there's kind of delayed all-ins where there's Blink Stalker Observer, so 3-gate Robo with Blink. So you can use the Observer to like blink up and down the cliffs and harass and stuff. And there's Colossus play, which is, as usual, pretty solid. Right now, metagame's kind of really tossed up in the air. Right now it's really common to do 3-gate Robo because of Blink Stalkers and Observer, how strong that is. On ladder, I have seen in PvP people doing like these weird 1-gate expands with like cannon defenses. Like there's so many different builds, but I can guarantee you that someone's gonna try to do a 1-base all-in. Whether it's a cannon, 2-gate proxy, 1-base Colossus, 1-base 4-gate, whatever. Someone's gonna 1-base. You rarely ever see long macro games where they get past 2-base.
Alright, I was talking with Dice there. I told him to add you to Skype here, and we'll get a word from him.
Alright. So would you like for me to add him to the call?
Yeah.
Alright.
I believe we'll just wait on him as we get the start of this going.
Hello?
Hello there, Dice.
Hey, what's up?
Impressive performance on that first game. You were able to get that expand and push out. And then second game there, he had a few really nice force fields in your natural.
Yeah, I kind of messed up a lot. I think before that point in the second game, the two big things I could think of is that the initial scouting overlord, I accidentally sent back to my natural, so I didn't really have anything in position to scout. And then the second part, which is kind of the lack of preparation for his actual push. I might have run a little bit too hard and lost too much on the zealot pressure.
Other than that, it seemed like that was a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate. And also, like, my rallies were off, which it's the kind of stuff that, like, never happens. Like, that Overlord coming back to my natural, like, I've never done that. Like, practice, match, ladder, anything.
No.
So, to kind of fix that, it's like, I guess I'll just not do that.
We were kind of talking here a little bit more. Your creep spread from your natural there could have been going out to the middle a little bit more.
Definitely, yeah. I really didn't hit the creep tumors like every time they went back at, I guess recharged. If I had done that, the creep should actually be at around like almost to the point of my third, maybe 1 or 2 tumors before actually connecting to the ramp.
Well, it was good games played against you. How do you feel Protoss is against you? Is that one of your hardest matchups, or?
It's my second best. ZVT is my best. CVZ is my worst. Protoss, I feel okay. Like you said, force fields are pretty good by him, and a lot of times I feel like it's kind of hard to engage a Protoss army, so I kind of have to tailor my game plan around that. But
it's very
yeah,
true.
I feel okay, I guess.
Alright, right now we have Cuz versus Forbes from Binary. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yep. It's a PvP. I don't know how good these guys' PvPs are, but like I think everyone knows that it's kind of a volatile matchup still. Doesn't mean like it's completely random, but you know, anything can happen, and you could just lose from a build order if you're unlucky.
It looks like, I believe Forbes is a little ahead and probe count by a small amount.
Yeah, he actually, Forbes went for the 13 gateway, and so he's gonna have a gateway later than Cuz, because Cuz went for the standard 12 gate, but he'll have an extra probe. So these kind of things, this is basically Defender's advantage at this point. You know, the later Cybercore, the later Warp Gate tech, the later Robotech, whatever he's gonna make is gonna be later than what Cuz can make, but he'll have this extra probe, which may not seem like a big thing, but in the grand scheme of things, it adds up. So.
And I suppose if he's kind of playing defensively, the time it takes his army to move across the map, that small delayed time, it basically evens out between the two sides.
Definitely.
Yes and no, actually, just because of how the warp-in mechanic works. Because if Cuz is gonna 4-gate, which I think he might just because of the 75 energy on his Nexus, and he's making this Zealot Stalker, we'll know if he stops making probes after this one or the next one. But the reason the warp-in mechanic plays a huge role, because your first warp-in will actually happen at the front door of the other person's base. You don't want to have the warp-ins come in at your main, because then you'd have to walk them across the map. But so it's better to drop a pylon like at their natural and then start warping in stuff. So we'll see. Definitely, he has exactly enough for 3 gateways. He makes 1, 2, and he stops.
Looks like I believe he started another stalker.
Yeah, there you go. So there's the 4 gates. I'm pretty sure Forbes is aware of the 4 gates coming. He saw how much energy was saved up, and he saw how he was chrono boosting this Cybercore as much as he could.
Yep.
And especially with the Zealot Stalker. So Forbes kind of doing this 2-gate Stalker Zealot, I get basically to try to deny any pushes. It's the same thing as a 4-gate without the gate. So actually really big was him killing this probe, because now if he kills this pylon off, there's no warp-ins. So Cuz needs to bring in a probe like as soon as possible, or this isn't gonna work.
And he will build.
Actually, that pylon's gonna go down.
Yep, he does bring the pylon
Yeah.
down, so his 4-gate push is very delayed, so the extra probe is going to give him that advantage now.
Yeah, so this was a dedicated 4-gate, as you can see. Cuz did stop at 20 probes. Forbes making this huge, not huge miserror, but like a relatively large miserror by letting his Zealot die. Yeah, it's down. So I think he's gonna catch this Stalker if he drops a force field. Nope. Anyways.
And
yeah.
you can see Forbes has a large stockpile of minerals right now. Is that anything he's going to try for early? He won't try for an early expand though, just warping in units.
He's probably thinking that this is a dedicated all-in, like he's gonna try harder. Cuz is actually gonna go for this kind of the 4-gate contain, a light contain. It's gonna be very light because Cuz knows he's behind. Forbes wasn't 4-gating, and so at this point he's trying to catch up by doing this risky expand. But I think the minute Forbes realizes that Cuz isn't gonna all in and he's trying to expand, he'll just kill him right away, because 5 probe advantage. He's dropping 400 minerals into a Nexus. He doesn't have a large Stalker count because he lost a lot of units early. He lost a couple of units early on. He just lost a Stalker, he lost a Zealot. He's already behind in supply, especially. 4 supply may not seem a lot, but then everything's just like adding up.
And we can see Forbes did go for that blink right away. And he is boosting that out.
Yeah, actually, though, he didn't see Cuz's Nexus, so he doesn't know that Cuz actually expanded, which might be pretty important if he doesn't. I guess the timing should still kill him, but that could be pretty important.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Forbes is actually leaving the sentry here, which is smart, at his ramp, because he's moving it now. But then he was expecting a delayed kind of weird timing where Zealots would flank from behind or they run into his main. But since Forbes is going to do this, 3-gate Robo with Blink, and he's going to add in an Immortal, so it's going to decrease his Stalker number, but he'll have this Immortal. Once he finds out that the expansion's here, it's done. I don't see Cuz holding this.
Forbes pushed out an Observer right away, and he does scout that now. Though we do see Cuz coming up with some Immortals also.
Yeah, but with Forbes' blink, this is really not a good scenario.
And he will get that blink up right as this fight is starting. So.
So blink has finished. What's important? Yeah, there you go. Catches the immortal. At this point, Zealot versus Stalker. This is pretty much good game. Forbes looks like he has it. Just needs to do a little micro.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of keeping his units in the back, the injured ones.
Though,
I've noticed like a lot of the earlier engagements, yeah, the injured units are in the front, so they got picked off right away.
and you can see, because it did pull some probes there.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, Forbes isn't. This is actually a huge thing that Forbes isn't macroing at all very well. Like, he's not controlling this at all. He's floating 600 minerals. If he had those 600 minerals spent in units, he would have been able to kill this, but his immortal is late. So, at this point, Forbes is gonna win, but it's a very delayed win just because of how poorly he kind of handled everything else, aside from the engagements themselves, which he's doing pretty well in, considering he has some micro against immortals, which instantly kills stalkers.
It looks like he's getting a little bit excited here.
And Forbes is also bringing in some immortals. Though if Cuz can somehow defend this push, he's going to be at advantage with that expansion.
The thing is, if you look at the army values are really important here because Cuz is constantly losing these immortals, which is like 250 mineral investment. He's forced to warp in stalkers because of, you know, this, like, he can't make too many stalkers because the immortal will kill them, and he has blink stalkers. So if Forbes is also expanding, so which is a huge thing.
Okay.
At this point, you know, he's 7 probes behind. This is PvP. This is really sensitive. How many probes you have, what your expansions are at. Obviously, you know, on paper at this point, Cuz is super far behind. But you know, with there could be good luck. But there's really nothing to say at this point. Cuz has no economy to speak of. His army value is down to toilet. This is going to be pretty much GG.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be over any moment now. Just kind of waiting for Forbes to put the finishing touches. He did get an expansion in the I guess, top 12 o'clock main.
Yep.
That kind of seems odd. Is there any reason behind that hidden expansion?
I believe what I saw is like he put that pylon down there, and then instead of just running one from his main, he just snuck right up there with that probe, I think. Could have just been a quick macro as he was trying to micro.
Basically, yeah. He's trying to spend his money, and so the best way is to get expansions up and get more ahead, as, you know, Artosis likes to say very often.
Right, just the positioning was kind of weird, because he could have just taken it as natural just as easily.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be in case there's a pylon down here or something that Cuz might see, and then if Cuz sees that he's an expansion, maybe he's a little less crazy about it. But yeah, GG.
We do see the GG.
Did expand, I guess, say what?
I said we did see the GG there, and
Yeah, both sides did GG. Cuz just gave him a one big G, but, you know, that counts.
Yep. And so Forbes does take the win. It's 2-1 for Binary. And see what the next map and who we're actually playing up against next.
Yeah, so that PvP was pretty straightforward, I think. Overall, like, it went pretty, like, Cuz tried to go for a 4-gate, didn't quite work out, tried to expand behind it, and he couldn't quite hold off that Blinkstalker Immortal timing. So overall, I guess, like, Forbes looking in a pretty good spot. 2 more players, I believe, for LagTT left.
That is correct. And we have 3 left on Binary side. Just waiting.
Yeah, the odds are looking pretty good.
Looking good. Already a little less than last week with Fan, you know, 4-0ing. Still pretty good matchup there.
Wait, was it a SCLNA? Because I don't think you could actually 4-0
SCL. That was just Clan War.
Oh, yeah, he did pretty dang good.
It wasn't Clan War, it was Man vs. Clan, but...
Man vs. Clan.
That's anytime any of you guys 4-0 someone, you are now known as the man for the week, because you are Man vs. Clan.
Yeah, Fan's pretty beastly when he's, you know, sitting down and actually practicing, so it's pretty good.
Do we have a map repeats in this league? I think.
I don't think so.
No?